The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
In South Florida, it's a crazy sports night here. You have, of course, the return of the NBA. You have, of course, for me, Miami Heat basketball. You have, of course, Game 2 of the World Series. Just right now, as we're recording this, it's 2-2 in the bottom of the sixth, I believe, right now. And for all you nerds out there, there's also wrestling tonight, AEW. I'm sure Zach's watching himself too, right, Zach?
Man, if there's something I love watching more than sports, it's watching dudes in Speedos
Some wear jeans,
wrestle
though.
each other.
Just saying.
Oh, wow. Hey, now they're allowed to wear clothes.
Hey,
All right. Maybe one day they'll be able to decide who wins on
Of course,
their own.
with us, Zack The Degenerate, as he is every picks, though, I actually want to react to, well, this is dropping on a Thursday, but I want to react to the Lakers-Clippers opener from Tuesday night. Now, you admitted to me before I came on the air that you didn't watch the game on Tuesday because...
I'm protesting someone until he visits the Wizard of Oz and gets a brain. I'll watch the rest of the NBA, but until one jackass goes and gets a brain, I'll wait to watch his team in the playoffs.
By that, by jackass, you mean LeBron James, right? And the China incident.
Yes.
That
Yes,
you
I do.
definitely last week made, did not hold back on your thoughts on the situation. I will say this much, though, about LeBron in the game. I wish you had watched the game only because of these takeaways. I have two big takeaways from the game on Tuesday. Number one, and I know obviously I've been kind of really been on the fence with this topic in terms of LeBron being the best player in the league or not. Last year I was kind of like, he may not be, but I want to see one more year before I make a decision on that. Watching one game, watching Tuesday night, he wasn't even the second best player on the entire court. There's no question now that LeBron James is no longer the best player in the NBA. Like, Kawhi is the best player in the league right now, and it's probably not even close between the two guys. Okay? And, like, you can tell his burst is gone. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, he's still really good, but you can tell there's something missing there. I don't know because it's game one. I don't know if it's stress or the China shit. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely a LeBron isn't the same guy as he was even 2 years ago. And yes, he's 35 years old. And this is my biggest concern. People saying, well, if LeBron and AD are healthy, Lakers will be fine. But this is not LeBron James in 2012. This is now 35-year-old LeBron James with, 50,000 minutes over of minutes played of his career? At some point, Father Time will win. And I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but 5 years ago. This is not the same. And his team is still kind of, Lakers roster really is still kind of discombobulated a little bit, too. So, I mean, I don't buy that at all, the Lakers being this top team as good as they are, because that roster is just kind of like discombobulated, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And as you noted, he was lacking any kind of burst. So how do you have a guy playing point guard at his age with no burst?
Yeah.
You've already put him out on the peripherals so that he avoids any contact. If he can't get off on a good burst, what's left? His passing?
Yeah. And only that.
And I know everyone wants to praise his passing, but the dude turns the ball over way too much. And
to boot also, too, he's playing point on both sides. I mean, obviously he'll play point. Obviously he gets the ball a lot anyway, regardless on one side of the ball. But defensively speaking, I mean, good luck with that, doing that all year long. Because that's a lot of energy you can be exalting on just on that alone.
Well, on the defensive side, they basically switch him out to guard the weakest player and essentially just let someone drive by him so that he's not having to do any work on the defense. He checked out of being a two-way player 5 years ago.
That and to be fair, also too, that is kind of what he probably should have done anyway. Because I mean, you save your legs for the playoffs, all that. But we're here now. He's 35 years old. I mean, AD was better last night than him. Kawhi was much better than LeBron last night. I mean, Kawhi looks spry. He looks smooth. LeBron, I don't know. It felt like LeBron. It felt like it took a lot of work for him to do what he needed to do. And I don't know. I came away I came from that game on Tuesday saying, yeah, he's not the best player in the league anymore. He's probably still top 5. I'll give him that. But top guy in the league, no. That's Giannis now. That's Kawhi.
That's Kawhi, and it's only Kawhi because KD
Right.
got hurt.
So.
Before that, for the 2 years prior, KD was the best player in the league, but you couldn't say it out loud or you'd hurt LeBron's feelings.
Well, a lot of it too also was the fact that he was on the Warriors and yes, he's not getting the same coverage, as he would on OKC because of the talent around him. I get all that, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm still willing to say LeBron was the best player probably up to 2 years ago. Last year, it was in question. There was a bunch of guys that can make a case for that. This year, right now, two games in, no, he's not best player in the league. He's not the best player in the league. I'm not even sure he's the best player of his team. And I've already said, Zach, when they made that trade for Davis back in July or June rather, that if the Lakers are going to be this championship team moving forward, AD has to be the main guy, not LeBron.
Well, even LeBron admitted that much, and I think that should have been a tipping point to where people had to stop worrying about offending LeBron James or offending the LeBron's camp.
Yeah. I agree. The second takeaway from the game for me was the fact that, for all the talk about Clippers Lakers, could this be a conference finals, all that, a rivalry and whatnot. Yeah, maybe Laker time, and it'll probably be Laker time, obviously, but the Clippers are better, and it's not even close. And after watching the game on Tuesday, and remember, this is the Clippers playing without Paul George, the second best player who won't be back till November. I saw that team on Tuesday. Not only that chemistry on that ball club is, I'm not gonna say it's like the Warriors the last couple of years, but I was getting visions of that a little bit. Like this, the ball movement, they're playing hard for each other, playing both sides of the ball, and dude, they got a mixture of nice players and some fucking bullies in that team. Guys who are willing to put their bodies on the line to win games. Like guys like Montrezl Harrell, guys like Patrick Beverley. That team. Jack, I'll say this much: they're gonna be a fucking problem this year.
Absolutely, and I told you this during our over-unders on the podcast. They will be the best defensive team in basketball. They should remind you of the New York Knicks. When you talk about bully basketball, that's what the Knicks were during the 90s, and that's what they're going to be right now going forward for the next 3 to 4 years. They're just going to physically intimidate everybody on the court.
But that's the thing too. Also, they can do both. Not only are they physically intimidating, but they also have guys like Kawhi and Paul George who are finesse guys. So they got a nice little mixture of guys that do both. Both sides of the ball. They're gonna be a problem, dude. I mean, like I said, health wise, obviously it's gonna be one thing I look at, but I'm looking at one game sample. I don't see anybody in the West beating the team. I don't. As long as they're healthy.
Would you like to redo your top pick for the Western Conference, or even your top 4 now?
Well, I mean, maybe the Clippers, maybe a little higher. I mean, I have them as a 4 seed. It was all said and done, but maybe it's 2 seed, I guess. 2. My only concern was mostly about the injuries, and Paul George's health coming into the year, Kawhi load management, all that. But I saw him winning championship.
Yeah, you should make them the 1 seed.
We'll see.
A clear 1 seed.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's get to the picks real quick. But before we get to the picks, I won again last week. By 1 game. I went, was it 8-6 last week for me, and you went 7-7? Oof.
Yes, you're the comeback kid. I am Kirk Cousins on the primetime game. Woo-hoo, good for you.
So I'm now 4-0-3, and you're whatever. I gotta tell you that. 0-3-4. Wow. Yeah. So last week was kind of a wonky week for me because I didn't watch, other than the Giant game, I didn't watch much football. Like, I watched the Giant game on Sunday. I was locked into the Giants game on Sunday. And then I went to some company party after that. So I was kind of like in and out of football. And then the Monday night game was so shitty. I turned on the second quarter, turned the game off. Patriots and Jets. I'm like, well, I'll watch this crap.
Yeah, that was an absolute letdown.
Yeah, it was.
I couldn't believe how bad Sam Darnold played. There's a quarterback who has such extreme highs and such extreme lows that I don't know how you deal with that.
And to even like admit that you saw ghosts, I mean,
That was
to
hilarious.
say it. I mean, it's one thing to, and I get it. You can say it and keep amongst you, yourself, and maybe your teammates, but to say it publicly, like, wow.
Well, I mean, he didn't say it at the presser after the game. He happened to say it during the game because for some dumbass reason they thought, hey, let's mic up our quarterback.
The
The one player on the field you should never mic up.
quarterback.
Yeah.
So, anyway, look, here's the deal. We still have a lot of football left to be played. There's still another, 10 weeks of the year? No, less than that, I believe. Less than that, but you can still make a ground. But you guys still win some games, winning some weeks this week. You guys start to come back this week, so.
Listen, you're up by 6 games. I can make it all back in 1 week.
Here we go, man. Let's go to week 8 picks. There's a lot of really weird spreads this week. A lot of big ones there too. So tonight's game, when this podcast drops me on Thursday, your boys are on primetime, heading to Minnesota to face the Vikings. The Vikings are 16-point favorites. Should I say the Red Hot Vikings? Now, here's the situation. The Vikings are playing good football right now. Gotta give them credit for that. Okay? But this game's on Thursday. And what is our rules about Kirk Cousins and primetime games and all that?
He plays like I picked. Horribly.
So, therefore...
But he's getting a gift. He is going to win this game. It won't even be in doubt.
Oh, I have no qualms about the Redskins not winning this game. But I will take the Redskins to the points here. Plus 16. That's a lot of points. I don't give a shit if it's the Redskins and the Vikings. But Kirk Cousins playing on Thursday. I could see the Redskins playing up for this game a little bit. And maybe this game being semi-competitive in points. Minnesota wins the game, of course, but I can see the Redskins covering like they did last week at San Francisco, and covering the same here against the Vikings. What says you, Zachary, and your Redskins?
Well, first off, I believe I should get credit for a win with the San Fran pick since I said Washington wouldn't score a point, even though the line was 10. Like I should get credit for that game for saying they wouldn't score a point.
That is true. You did say that.
And I think I would want to say there's a good chance they don't score again.
Do not tell me you're taking the Vikings to cover 16 points.
I'm not. I wanted to so badly. But since you're going to take the Skins plus the points, I'm going to take the over in the game.
Okay.
At over 42, I feel like I got it.
Okay.
If you're right about that.
Right, I can see that playing out too. Okay. Next game here, we have the New York Football Giants heading to Detroit to face the Lions. The Detroit Lions, now another rough loss last week is Minnesota. They are now 7-point favorites. The over-under this game is 49.5. I got folks asking me about Daniel Jones and about, whether or not they should pull him or they should. I'm like, no. Like, right now, I believe the New York Giants' philosophy right now, this season, is the same as mine. Wins and losses right now doesn't matter. Okay? Development is the name of the game now. The Giants should know that the NFC is too deep right now, that there's no chance for them to get back in this race. Okay? The number one priority should be developing Daniel Jones and get as much reps as possible. I can't believe people are even asking me this question. No, he needs to be on the field more often. The more reps on the field, the better for him going forward. That being said, I'm taking Giants on the points as well too, plus 7. I don't think they'll win the game though, but I think they'll keep it close.
First, I'd like to know what dumb fuck who watches football thinks the best thing for Daniel Jones would be to bench him. But the only game I see this season where he gets benched is the last week of the season where they don't want to risk an injury going into the off season, and they let Eli start the last game at home just because they love Eli so much.
It's a send-off also, too, because he'll be gone.
Yep. But as far as this game goes, as much as I would love to pick the Giants plus the points, I'll take the over in the game. I could see a ton of points getting scored.
Just like last week.
Last
week. So, okay, next one here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to Tennessee face the Titans. The Titans right now are 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is 45.5. Zachary, what you got in this game?
I don't know where to go now with Ryan Tannehill at the helm. But I still believe in Tennessee's defense. And I also believe that Jameis Winston is the turnover king. So give me the under in the game.
I'm going over in this game, actually. I think there's going to be some scoring here. I think Tennessee's offense has played a lot better with Tannehill quarterback. I think Tampa can put points on the board. I know Tennessee's defense is good. I get that. But I can see this being a 27-23 type of game that gets you to the number you need to get to. This is actually one of the more, these teams are both under 500. This is actually a sleeper game here for the first 1 o'clock session. So, give me the over in this game.
All right. Real quick, I believe the Nationals just scored more points than what the Redskins will score tomorrow night.
Good Lord. Let's score the game.
The Nationals just got their fourth run of the game.
It's 4-2?
So I'm pretty sure they're with the bases loaded. I'm pretty sure they just outscored the Redskins.
They're about to go 2-0 in the series, and all those games on the road. That's crazy. Okay, next game here. We have the struggling LA Chargers heading to Chicago to face the Bears, who are also struggling. The Bears right now are 4-point favorites. The over-under is 40.5. Zachary, explain the Chargers. I don't think I've seen a franchise who's been legitimate for a good portion of the last 15 years be more snake-bitten in the ways that they lose than the Chargers. Last week was bad.
They had that game won twice last week. That should have been another victory for me. I mean, how snake-bitten can I get? I don't know. But as far as the Chargers go, coming into this season, I think most experts thought they had one of the most loaded teams in football. They were so balanced. And to see something like this, holy cow.
What they can do. And Chicago and Trubisky. Woo. He's bad. He's as bad.
Is it Trubisky bad or is it Matt Nagy bad? He went from coach of a year to a guy who can't call a run play for the game. What did Chicago run last week? 6, 8 runs total. That was embarrassing as a head coach in the NFL to think, a guy who just came back from a shoulder injury, we need to have him throw 50 plus times.
So you know what? Doing that one in the case of what you just said there, I'll take the half on that one. So maybe just 50% Nagy, 50% Trubisky. Trubisky's is bad though. I've never had faith in him. I started the year telling you that. This is why I told you they're going 8-8 or worse.
Well, I was so bought into that defense that all you had to do was put up 14 points a game and you'd be okay.
Yeah. That being said,
going into that draft, I could not understand how he got drafted in the first round at all. But just see his faith in his own self be torn apart by the coach. It makes no sense. You're giving him no chance to succeed in the NFL anymore.
Here's my question, too. I think he has an option next year, a team option. Did they pick it up? I don't know.
I don't think they do. I think they basically let him prove he can play. Unless they do a team option where it's injury.
I don't know. That being said, I'm taking the under in this game, 40.5. I think this would be a low-scoring game.
I'm actually going to take the Chargers.
Oh, okay. They need it bad.
Yeah.
And
they absolutely do.
They're too good to be this bad.
And with Kansas City having Pat Mahomes hurt, maybe they believe they have a slight chance to get back in the picture.
The reports from Mahomes may be trying to play this weekend, which would be stupid for him to do, but this is me. All right. Anyway, next game here we have. Oh boy, this team is fun. Well, first of all, the Seattle Seahawks heading to Atlanta to face the Falcons, who have fallen apart, and they've been part of my bottom 5 for the last 2 weeks. The Seahawks are 6.5-point favorites on the road. Wow. How far have the Falcons fallen? It's crazy, huh?
It's for Atlanta to get back to where they were, you have to fire the coach at this point. It reminds me so much of what happened in Seattle with the interception in the Super Bowl. Like, the team has just lost complete faith in the head coach, and the only thing that got them back into playoffs the year after they made it to the Super Bowl was their talent, and it's just eroding.
That said, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm taking the Falcons on the points here. It's a lot of points at home. They've got to play better this week, right? I mean, they're at home. I mean, they're 1-6. Are they this bad, Zach? Really? Is this a slump, or are they this bad? I don't think they're this bad. I'm sorry.
So you're taking the points with a team that's 1-6 against a guy who you've been championed to be MVP of the league for 2 to 3 years now, and constantly put into the GOAT conversation.
The GOAT conversation. Wait a second. The GOAT conversation was a joke, dude. It's a joke. No, stop that.
But Ernest, I am going to have faith in your GOAT that he covers the spread. Your GOAT will put a beat down in Atlanta.
Again, west to east, number 1. Number 2, Seattle. Are we sure they're that good? I mean, do you see what happened in Baltimore last week against Baltimore at home? I mean, again, they have a good record, but a lot of that is due to the quarterback, and that's it, in my opinion.
So you're actually going to try and put Atlanta and Baltimore on the same level?
No, what I'm going to do is tell you that Atlanta is getting a lot of points here. That's all I'm saying. Now, will Seattle win the game? Very likely they will win the game. But 6.5 points giving 6.5 points to a Atlanta team that has Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, those guys, that's still a lot of points, man. That's still a lot of points.
Are you sure they're going to have Julio Jones by game time? He might be traded.
No, he'll be traded. Sanu got traded. Well, I mean, Sanu got traded, yeah, but nah. But I'll take Atlanta points. You take Seattle, right?
Yep.
One last chance with Atlanta to prove me wrong. All right. The New York Jets are heading to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars. The Jaguars are 6-point favorites. The over-under is 41.5. Again, the Jets look like shit on Monday Night Football. Jaguars are a big win against Cincinnati last week. I am going to take the under, however, on this game at 41.5.
Wow. And I'm going to go the other way.
Over?
I'm going to take the over, yes. There's got to be a little bit of a bounce back for the Jets going into Jacksonville. You can't shit the bed 2 weeks in a row with the talent they have on offense.
Yeah.
And again, it's Jacksonville now.
Yes, true.
That mystique of their defense, it's
long gone. It's been gone for a couple. Since week 2, probably week 3. Yeah. We talk about Minshew now more than anything else. You know, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, next one here. The Philadelphia Eagles heading to Buffalo to face the Bills, who are now 5-1. The struggling Eagles the Bills are first off 1.5 point favorites, over under 43.5. You know, like I'm stubborn with certain teams. Certain teams I'm stubborn with, even when they slump. The Eagles are in that category for me as well, with teams I struggle to let go. That was a bad loss as Dallas. I mean, not just because they lost, but how they lost. That was a bad loss last weekend.
I'm not even sure the game was the worst part of it. For all the talk that came out after that game, they got serious issues in that locker room.
Yeah, the Alshon Jeffrey thing with Carson Wentz. Allegedly, Alshon Jeffrey allegedly called out Carson Wentz. Allegedly.
Lane Johnson calling out teammates. Right now, either they need to have a team meeting or something seriously has to change there.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game outright. Desperation game.
So am I.
I don't.
So am I.
Because this is the one week where the secondary does have to be great because Buffalo's offense is still kind of meh. Let's be real. Buffalo almost lost to Miami last week. Okay? So I'm still on the fence. Buffalo's their D is good, and there's no doubt about that. But I'm still kind of on the fence about them being a playoff threat. That's all I'm going to say.
So you're saying Cole Beasley doesn't strike any fear into you?
I'm taking the Eagles here to win this game outright. This is purely desperation. And you agree with me too, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
I agree.
Cool. All right, next game here we have this game's in London actually. We have the LA Rams against Cincinnati Bengals. The Rams are currently 13-point favorites. The over/under is 48.5. Zach, I am taking the Bengals on the points because as you see the trend this year, every 2 games they are competitive regardless of opponent. So I'll do the same here. They'll be competitive in this game. I think they'll keep it closer. Rams win, of course, but I think the Bengals keep it close.
I don't look at stupid trends like that with Cincinnati. Teams that are that bad, I just don't care what kind of trend there is. Give me St. Louis. Give me LA. Whatever you want to call the man town. But it'll essentially be like a 6 o'clock game in London. They'll get there a couple days early, so they should be well rested, and they should be able to come out firing on all cylinders for once.
Do you think after last week they turned the corner?
I think they got their mojo going again.
Okay. I mean, they beat down the Falcons, who you say are trash, but you know, which they are, but I think they're better than the record. But this is me. But, all right, so you got the Rams, I got the Bengals. Okay, next game here we have the Arizona Cardinals heading to New Orleans to face the Saints. The Saints are currently 9.5-point favorites. The over/under is 48 points. The Cardinals have won 3 straight. All of a sudden, the Cardinals are 3-3-1. I got to tell you, man, Kyler Murray, quiet is kept, having a nice season, and being able to watch him play a complete game for the first time all year long because the Giants, not terrible, man. I mean, for a guy 5'8", but he's not one of those mobile quarterbacks that runs the ball the first chance he gets. He's actually he actually goes through his progressions. Actually, it's kind of impressive. It's unorthodox, being the guy how small he is, but he's really good.
Well, I would assume he's got to be good because he was drafted number 1.
Yeah.
He did win a Heisman in college.
Mm-hmm.
So the kid has some talent, and he of course wants to prove all of his doubters. My only question for Arizona is, Patrick Peterson going to be back in the lineup this week? His suspension's up, so what's the deal?
I haven't heard nothing yet, so I can't tell you. Meanwhile, the Saints, 6-1, quiet is kept. Probably the best team in the conference. I mean, obviously San Francisco has something to say about that. Maybe even Green Bay, but impressive. No Drew Brees in it. They haven't lost a game without Drew Brees. It's impressive. That defense is really good too. On top of that.
Yeah, I wonder if Jacksonville is kicking themselves just a little bit for giving so much money to Nick Foles and not making a bigger offer to Teddy Bridgewater.
He's doing very well too. That said, the Saints. I'll give you the Saints here to cover. I see a lot of that for the Cardinals this week. The Saints are on fire. I mean, this is a real team. I have to give them props.
I've got to take the over. I just see too many points being scored.
Okay. Next game here, we have the Oakland Raiders heading to Houston to face the Texans. The Texans right now are 6.5-point favorites. The over-under is 51.5. Zachary, where'd you go on this one?
I'm taking the over again. If there's one of these teams that you can count on for an over, I feel like it's Houston week in, week out.
I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm taking the Texans to cover because that loss against Indy last week was really, really bad, and they need a big win here. They need a big win just to kind of get the stink off. Because that loss to Indy last week, had they won that game, they would have full control of the division. So they need a big win here, and I think they'll take care of it here. The Raiders are, they've looked good parts of the year, but I think it's time for them to come back to earth a little bit. So give me Texans here.
Yeah, they've surprised me for the season as well as they've played. I had very low expectations.
By the way, the World Series game is now blown open, 8-2 Nationals. My God.
Yeah, can I get a bet now that the Nationals have outscored the Redskins on Thursday night?
All right, next game here we have the Carolina Panthers heading to San Francisco to face the Niners. The Niners are 5.5-point favorites, unbeaten, of course. Over under 41.5. Zach, what you got?
I'm taking Carolina.
Ooh.
Yes, I want to smell an upset actually in this game. 7-0 already. Could they probably lose this game? I think so.
I think it's possible. It's very possible. But I think the safe bet will be the under at 41.5.
Ooh, that's a low under for two teams like that.
I don't know. I mean, defense. Just saying.
I hope you're not being so swayed by the 9-0
No.
crap weather in D.C.
No, not at all. I think both these teams have very solid defenses. I think you could have a bit of a grind fest here. So I'll take the under this one. Okay, next one here we have the Denver Broncos heading to Indy to face the Colts. The Colts are 6-point favorites. The over-under is 43.5. Zach, kind of weird. This is actually a low spread considering these teams' records. I think Vegas was a trap here a little bit.
Well, Vegas can think there's a trap. I don't. I see Indy winning big in this game. Brissett, week in, week out, is getting more and more confident in this team.
I'm with you, too. I got Indy covering this game. I think Denver's really selling off parts now, too, on top of that. Manuel Sanders got traded this week, so to the Niners. Yeah, so Denver's already in sell mode, so Indy is 4-2 and starting to formulate themselves as a AFC contender. So I think they'll continue doing that here. They'll cover the game here as well. Very, very impressive season for the Colts so far. Very impressive.
Could Flacco get traded to the Bears?
Say it again? Flacco?
Yeah. Could you see Flacco being traded to the Bears with what they
Gotta
have
be
at
honest, as
quarterback?
bad as Trubisky is, I'd rather have him than Flacco, dude. Honestly. As bad as Trubisky is.
At least with Flacco, I would think Matt Nagy would be willing to throw more than 2 yards down the line.
That's a good point. All right, next game here. The pretty big game here. The Cleveland Browns heading to New England to face the Patriots. The Pats right now are 13-point favorites. The over-under is 46. We just got a word today that Josh Gordon is out for the year.
Yeah, and there's also a rumor that they may just cut him instead of putting him on the IR. So,
that being said, I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. I'm going to take the Browns with the points here. Browns had a bye week.
No shot. There's no shot in the dark.
Browns had a bye week last week, right? If I'm not mistaken. They had a bye week.
Yeah.
So that helps from one. I think they don't want to get embarrassed again. So I think they'll keep this game relatively close. Obviously, the Pats win this game because it's a better team. But I can see the Browns staying competitive this game. So give me the 13 points. I'll plus 13 here in the Browns.
I agree with you. I'll take the points.
The Pats, like I said, Pats had a big win against the Jets this past week. Offense is still kind of, I don't know, their offense is still kind of average right now, if you will. Their defense has been carrying this team throughout the year. Let's be real.
I feel like average is giving them more credit than they deserve.
Yeah.
Their offense has not been good at all
Yeah.
this season. It comes down to the fact they have been getting unbelievable field position for the most part. I'm
waiting to see them play a team that actually has an offense. See a team that can actually challenge their defense a little bit. I'm not knocking the Pats because they earn the right to have the benefit of the doubt no matter what. Even them playing shitty teams, because when they play good teams every year, they still win the games. But I want to see them play against a team that has a real offense.
Well, Cleveland certainly has a real offense with the fact they have weapons to challenge those corners. And if you can challenge those corners, you're leaving it up to only their defensive line.
Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So, all right, Sunday football here. The Green Bay Packers heading to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. The Packers right now are 4.5-point favorites. Obviously, no Patrick Mahomes, at least that we know of. There's been some little rumors here today that Mahomes is practicing and just trying to. I think he was practicing. I don't know if it was the word practice, but he was definitely active in that he is actually trying to play this game this week. Bad idea, in my opinion, but this is my opinion. You got a guy that's the future of this league. I wouldn't risk it. That being said, I am taking the Packers to cover. They have gotten a roll now. Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden now playing like the best quarterback in the league. After last week, especially. Give me Green Bay to cover this game. Continue their winning streak.
I'm right there with you. I almost feel like Vegas made this line as low as they did because they were legit concerned that Pat Mahomes might come back.
Yeah.
I felt like this line should be at least 7, even though it's the Packers on the road.
If Mahomes was healthy for this game, what do you think this line would have been at?
Oh, if Mahomes was healthy for this game, no knee injury, it's probably KC minus 3.5.
Right. I agree with you. All right, and finally, the Monday Night Football game, of course. This is going to be a bad game. The Dolphins heading to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers. The Steelers are 14.5-point favorites. The over-under is 43. Dolphins still winless. Steelers, meh year. I like a lot of the big dogs this week. Give me the Dolphins here to plus 14.5.
I honestly don't know which fan base I hate more, the Steelers or the Dolphins. They are two of the most annoying fan bases in all of sports. Only the Yankees could supplant both of those fan bases combined. But I'm with you. Give me Miami. That is way too many points for a Pittsburgh team with a guy they just got off the road.
And that's a night I'll probably be watching Monday Night Raw as opposed to Monday Night Football. That's a crappy game.
One of us will.
All right, and the buys, of course, this week are the Baltimore Ravens and the Dallas Cowboys. Before we go, as we do every week, our FSU Minute. Knowles last week lose again to Wake Forest. This week, they are 10-point favorites at Syracuse. Syracuse, 1 point, was ranked a couple weeks ago. Now they've fallen apart themselves. I saw some rumors, Zach, today about Urban Meyer possibly be interested in a job at Florida State. Now, the AD has already shut it down and all that, but I just want to get your thoughts on that, if you heard that.
Okay, so we're supposed to pay Urban Meyer's price and pay a buyout, but we couldn't pay Jimbo Fisher? Again, we got to stop with these insane dreams. while I love the dream, and the AD should lose his job for even saying they wouldn't even think about bringing in Urban Meyer, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Never going to happen. If we get rid of Willie Taggart at all before his contract is up, it's midway through next year.
Let me ask you this, though. Would you want Urban Meyer on your team?
Yes.
Okay. I do too.
This has been the 3 hardest years of college football life for me. For football life in general, because, well, I'm a Redskins fan, so there's never any hope there.
Bring back Mark Rippon. Just so long. No,
I literally think he could play better than anything we got.
Probably.
Right
now. No, I gotta be honest with you. Like, for all my Urban Meyer, like, you know, I won't say disdain, but my Urban Meyer, like, you know, criticisms, whatever, maybe. If for some reason there's actually a realistic chance they can get him, absolutely go after him. This guy's one of the 5 best coaches probably in the history of the game. You know, seriously, this guy's.
Yeah.
See what you want with the guy. He's flaky as hell, maybe. Yes. You know, does he play up his health issues? Yes, in my opinion. But in terms of X's and O's, instead of being a great coach, you know, when prior to him retiring last year, he was a top 3 guy in college football, without question.
No, and hey, it makes it look like I'm throwing away my morals after, you know, I constantly rip LeBron James, but
yeah,
honestly, we've had convicts and criminals on our team for my entire lifespan.
Even Bowden.
Why should I even care that he's going to bring in more convicts and criminals?
What you would say is like, oh, at least they're winning football games, I guess. So,
like I said, my sports have sucked.
Oh, dude.
Since 2004.
Well, you get the Magic. Well,
because I'm a Marlins fan. I'm a Magic fan.
Playoffs last year, Magic though.
I don't have winning teams.
Yeah, you're pretty bad, dude. I've had championships at least in the last decade and a half. I've been pretty blessed. I ain't gonna lie. If I get one Mets World Series out of this though, that'd be nice. Also, we play Syracuse this weekend. Who you like this weekend?
I like.
Oh my God, plus 10?
Yeah.
And a win outright, or just no faith in this team, huh?
I can't say Syracuse will win outright. I think there's a chance they can still win outright, but 10 points, oh my God, that's way too many.
I'm with you there. And the thing 2 weeks ago, we're turning a corner, but no. But you know what? At least UM sucks too, though, with us. if we're gonna suck, bring UM with us, down with us.
Hallelujah for how they want to pick coaches.
Yeah, they're worse than we are. But
oh, absolutely. We at least picked guys that were decent head coaches and had ideas of how to coach. Mm-hmm. Miami just wants to pick a guy who's got history with the organization.
All about the U, 1991, 1992. Forget this. That's almost 30 years ago. But okay. Anyway, Zachary, thank you as always, man. Great job. Hopefully, well, for your sake anyway, that you might get a game.
Screw you.
Take care, buddy.